Hello, Valhemies. I made this longhouse, and I wanted to kind of show it to you as a, inspiration for your own type of log houses and your own builds, and kind of go through it with how to build it with you. So we're just gonna take a look around, and then I'm gonna build a little bit of it because well, guess what? I only built half of it. So I've only built half, so you could see me build the other half. But quickly, let's talk about kind of the exterior. I leveled this entire area out, and a good way to make sure things are level is when you build these kind of retaining walls. So these are like 2 blocks up, and then I put these blocks here because it's hard to make the ground level with these blocks. But if you put these ones in, then it's easier to level out, and it doesn't overspill to the other side. Then of course, it's a little boring to have just the stone wall, so I added the X's in there and a couple other different railings with the lights, just a little bit more detail. None of it's too special. It's just gotta make sure you add the detail, like the shields and stuff like that, it just really gives it that extra bit of detail, really, to make it look good. Anyways, let's talk about the actual build itself. All right, so you can make this any size you want, really. I made it this size just because I like my fireplace design I built here in the middle. So I kind of just built the fireplace first and then built it around it. So I built this fireplace, and it's just like 3 blocks by, I guess that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks across. So, and then I built 3 blocks across that. And then to add depth to the house, now to the longhouses, what it is, it's just sections. As you can see, there's my main section, my big section, and then kind of the entrance section, like a little bit of a smaller entrance section, and then this is the entrance section. So it kind of like just keeps going out like a staircase, just a little bit smaller each time, gives it depth, gives it a little bit more of that detail. This side I did the same thing, but I didn't want to have an entrance on this side, and instead I made a little ladder, well, not a ladder, a staircase to go up, and then I can go through here, and then I was thinking of building another thing here in the future. Anyways, enough of that. Oh, actually, maybe I'll talk about this too. This is just some regular wood, and I just put it across to some detail, some X's, and I just think it looks nice in the middle there. I was a little iffy on it after I built it, but I'm leaving there. I kind of like it. Anyways, so let's go ahead and show you how I did it. First thing first is you're going to want to build the wall. All right, so get your wall all built out, your first layer, though it is 2 layers that you will need. So we're going to actually go ahead and add the second layer right now. All right, so once you got your second layer of wall built, it looks just like this. You're going to add the support beams. As you see on this side, I have these support beams here. They don't really do anything, but I think they add nice depth to the roof. The roof is a little too boring when it's just the roof tiles. So to do that, I spaced them out for, what did I do? Like just 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I did 2 walls, spacing. I did the 45-degree beam. You start here on the top on the second level. All right. And then you go here like that. Okay. Then 1, 2, here, here, 1, 2, here. Oops. Hammer all gone. New hammer. Here, here. Okay. And then I did 4 for the doorway. Here, here. There, it should look something like this. I really think that having a spacing of 2 is important. I think it just looks nice, and then have a nice big entrance area, which leaves lots of space to do what I did over here on this side. So let's go ahead and bring these beams to connect them to these ones right here. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and back to the 45s and just take them right up. Another thing that I forgot to remind you of is that you're going to need some of these wood structures, these wood supports, to support these beams. So you see how I got 1, 2, and then 3 there, like the smaller one. So we're going to connect these together, or you won't be able to support these 2 here. So it's just to support this spot right here. So that will stay there. All right. So you won't see that once you put the roof on, but you will see is this piece, which is a little bit more design to help kind of, separate it a little bit. You can see it just peeking out. I think it looks good. So I'm going to put it there, and I'm also going to put it on this side. All right, bump the boom. Oops. All right. All right, so your structure should look something like this. I'm going to point out a couple things that I did differently, or just kind of two things. So on the two end pieces, I did the two different ways. So as you see, I brought it up, and then I didn't use one of the X pieces. I didn't use this. I just used the beams and I brought them together like this, even though I was having trouble lining them up, and I'm still kind of having trouble lining them up. I don't really understand why. Anyways, so this is it makes a kind of a smaller X. This is also one of those smaller X's comparative to these bigger X's. But on this side, I put these little pieces here and brought the X up, and it kind of made it more like slope downwards, which I kind of like better. I personally like this better, but you know, it depends on like how you feel about the way it looks. I like this better, but you can do it any way you want. Okay, so anyway, now we're going to put on the roof tiles. All right, so that's the 45-degree angle all the way across. All right, next we're going to go ahead and build the chimney. I'm going to use the wood poles, 1 meter, put them on this side and that side, which makes it nice and easy for the 45-degree roof to just kind of sit on it. So boom, there it is right there. And then just drag it across. Whoops. And there we go. Now you have a roof. Everything will go out there nicely. I don't like my roof to be too prominent, so you can't really see it too much, you know. But that looks pretty good in my opinion. All right, so now we're going to tackle this front entrance, okay? You, of course, can make it any way you want. This is just the way I did it, but, you know, it's I'm sure there's many different ways you can make a nice front entrance, but I'll show you how, okay? So we got the wood pole, and then we're going to plop 2 wood poles on either side. Okay. Ba-bum. Ba-bum. All right. Now this is where we're going to take the 45-degree beam. We're going to plop it right in the middle of these 2 poles, both sides. All right. Then we're going to connect them. All right. So now we're going to take the wood beam here, and we're going to go right here to the house. Okay. So after the first beam, so it should look something like that. Okay, and then we're going to go back to the 45-degree. We're going to take this and put it here on both sides, and then give it an X. Okay, that squares it off nicely. Then we're going to go ahead and add the roof. All right, both sides. 45-degree roof here. All right. So now we're starting to look good. Now we just got to add a bit of detail. First bit of detail I'm going to add is a couple wood poles here. All right. There and there. So this is where I can add my flag. All right. And a lot of people put the flags like this, but I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like this. I put it near the top. I think it looks better like that. You know, I see a lot of people doing it flat, but I'm into this. This looks good to me. If you do it level in the same spot, it's hard to get them both in the same spot. You're going to have to mess with it a little bit, but that looks good. All right, so next we're going to add the little dragons, the dragon heads. All right. So we're going to go ahead and grab the 45-degree angle, and we're going to do it here, okay? And we're going to connect it on both sides like that. And then the dragon head on the top. And boom, that looks good, doesn't it? Okay. That looks not too bad. Not too shabby. We're getting there. Okay, so now that the front entrance is done, you got to do a couple little more details. And I think the details are really what sets it apart. So first thing we're going to look at is we're going to look at the windows. So let's go ahead and place some windows around. All right, so I got one window here. I'm just going to quickly throw it together. This hammer is nearly done, so I'm just going to toss it. All right, that's why playing in the cheating mode, okay? I just throw my hammers away. Who fixes hammers nowadays? All right, so we're going to take the half wall. We're going to bang out all these walls. All right, and then we're going to put a half wall on the bottom, half wall on the top. All right. Then we're going to get our wood beams, straight up wood poles, I mean. Okay, this side. And then this side. And then right in the middle. And then the sideways beams. And there we go. Whoops. There we go. That's a nice looking framed out window in my opinion. Okay, so we're going to do another one. Where did I put the last other one? It's, okay, it's on that side of the door. Okay, so we got one right here too. Let's bang that out. Then we're going to go ahead, add those walls again, like I said before. Then beam going up. Oops, didn't add that last wall there. Beam going up. I'm in the middle too. Beam going across. Alright, that frames the window out nicely. Alright, and it looks good. At least in my opinion. Alright, I'm going to add 2 more. Okay, so now that we got our windows, there's a couple of more detail things that I like doing. I like putting the X's on the walls, especially when you got 4 walls like this, and you can plop it right in the middle. Kind of ties them all together. I think these little details like this is really what makes your build. You don't want the build to be too boring, and this really helps in my opinion. Just a little X here. Then you can do a little more details like, you know, putting item frames on top of it and shields like I did on this side. All right. I put a little item frame, plop the shield on there. Looks good in my opinion. Okay. So now we've added that. Now there's one little issue here is these big gaps. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to fill in those gaps nicely. Let's go inside the house. Oops. Alright, you see these gaps here. We're going to fill them in with these bad boys here. We're just going to plop them against... They're tough to place. They're definitely tough to place. Because you can actually get rid of these beams here. It might make it easier. Get in there. There you are. There you are. And then we're going to plop that in there. And then we're going to plop that right there. Ooh. Right on there. Okay. And then you're going to get some wood walls. Okay. There. 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 And boom. It should look something like this. Okay. So now you kind of got a nice little opening. It covers everything out. You know. And you got the wood beams here. Looks pretty good. Okay. Do the same on this side. Alright. So it should look something like this. You know. This looks pretty good. You know. This is... you just got to add little details. As you see, I've added this. I'm going to quickly show you how to build this thing. Though I'm not sure how I feel about it because a lot of this wood does decay. You know, I don't understand how the long beams decay and then the angled beams don't decay. But I'm still going to show you how I did it, okay? So we're going to go ahead and get some long beams, wood beams here. And we're going to double up. We're going to just kind of like double up the beams that are already there. They don't like to snap in right here, so you kind of just have to eyeball it. But that's okay, I think. You know, just eyeball it as best you can and bring it all the way over. Nobody would notice that it's off at all. Alright, so now we're going to do angle all the way across. Angle, angle. Angle, angle. And then we're going to put the X on top. Alright. Then we're just going to fill in the gaps. How do I got it here? Alright, so it's just basically a bunch of squares. Alright, so it's this. Do. Alright, on this side too. Yeah, just like this and this. Alright, that's what it looks like. And then you can put some long ways in. Connect these. Connect it from this side. There we go. Alright, then it'll look like that. Then I put a little bit of the smaller X right in the middle. The snapping in is a little tough sometimes, so there you go there. Come on, get in there. Alright, so that's how you do it on this side. Just kind of make a square, and then you put these in the middle. I actually had a hard time snapping. I don't know why I can't seem to replicate this. Maybe it's just a little too tight. I made it a little smaller by accident. But, you know, you can do anything. You can make any type of design. This is just what I did, all right? So you just use this as inspiration, all right? And then now we just got to go ahead and just add our stone, all right, stone path. So I just kind of did it all the way down. And then I just kind of filled in the sides a little bit. All right. Oh, I already had a piece of wood there ready for me. Forgot to put that there. Keep in mind this does lower the ground a little bit sometimes, or it does cause an evening. It evens it out a little bit. So you're going to have to come across stuff like this. I'll also, what I also did is I I put the blocks. I had to dig down a bit for this, so I can kind of get it. There we go. All right, so I used the stone blocks all the way across as a border. I'll show you what I did on this side. I don't really feel like recreating it because it takes a long time. But yeah, you just kind of bring it all the way across, connect it to this beam right here, and then just put the stone all the way across, and then fill the rest with grass. All right. The only other thing I haven't added yet to the front entrance is these dragon things, because you can actually put them down there and then bury them. Like I did it with this guy here. You can bury items and have just little bits of them stick out. I'm not sure how I feel about the dragon head. I don't really like it that much. It just adds a little more detail. And then I added this this brazier thing to it, kind of give it a little bit more detail. But yeah, this is kind of it. I don't really know what else to tell you or show you. I made this fence kind of by just putting it like this. Actually, I think a little more detail on this side, where I added the X's, and then I put the poles all the way down. But the poles across, they rotten out and they don't look good, and I don't really like that. So I'm open to like new suggestions about what to put on the top all the way across. But you know, still working process. I don't know how you like my don't subscribe signs. Make sure you don't subscribe to me. But that's it. That's my longhouse. Hopefully give you inspiration and taught you a few things. And if it didn't, it didn't. But if it did, remember to like it. And remember, don't subscribe to me.